I've been getting really personal with you because that's what this is all about. Unmuted with Nina Chantel, this podcast is me being raw, honest, and sharing my feelings. And I've finally found a way to vent, to have an outlet, to be able to speak about the things that we all want to say, but maybe are afraid to say them, or maybe we've just held them in, or maybe we want to feel and we just haven't been able to do so. Hey, I'm Nina Chantel, and this is Unmuted. Letting go. Those words sound simple when you hear it, right? 2 words. They're short, clean, easy to say, but the truth is it's one of the hardest things that you'll ever do. Think about how much you've had to use those words, letting go, for anything in your life. Mourning, leaving a job, leaving a place that you call home, maybe leaving your parents to go to college, or as a parent, letting go of your child, to spread their wings and fly. Well, I learned that recently when I had to leave the area that I have called home for more than a decade. Now, listen, I don't want you to think just a zip code. It was my life. It was my community. It was family that weren't my family by blood, but family by love and loyalty. You know what that feels like? To live in an area for over a decade, no matter if it's a neighborhood, a building with different units. Like this place that I lived in LA was like Melrose Place. Do you remember that show back in the day? And I hope I'm not dating myself, but it was like Beverly Hills 90210 and Melrose Place. It was like that. Everybody knew each other. Neighbors had each other's keys, in case there was an emergency, you could let them in. You trusted them. You got to know them. I mean, there were kids that I watched grow up, pets that would run up to me as if I was theirs because I've known them since they were puppies. And the neighbors who became like sisters and brothers, the friends whose birthdays and even weddings that I celebrated, those friends whose tears I wiped away and they wiped off mine during some of our hardest times. I mean, we even spent COVID together, and you know how those times were. Going for walks together, meeting up on the rooftop, going for each other's groceries, to look out for one another. When you spend more than 10 years, a whole decade in a place, you're not just renting an apartment or buying a house. You're planting yourself into the soil of people's lives. I mean, you're watching their roots grow right next to yours. You're growing as a human and outgrowing certain things, maybe new furniture, maybe you've shifted in relationships or employment, and you've just grown as a person. You realize how entangled you really were. I thought packing up, well, I'm not going to lie to you. It sounds like it could be easy when you're packing and you know that you've got this task at hand. But when you're really doing it, you realize how much you've kept, how much you actually had, and how much this actually hurts. Boxing up my stuff. I'm thinking packing. Okay, I'm going to throw on some tape after I go to Home Depot and get those boxes. Maybe I'll call some movers. But no, every single drawer I opened was a lesson in letting go. I don't want you to think I'm some type of hoarder or anything. I don't need piles of junk or anything like that. But I do keep things that mean something, don't you? Maybe like a concert wristband, like a photo booth strip from a night that changed everything, stories that you'll never say out loud, that you'll take, to the grave, and what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas type stuff. Even like a letter from a listener back in the radio days, I sat and reread it and relived that moment and had tears. I even had a t-shirt that smelled like nostalgia. To anyone else, it might be clutter. To me, it's just evidence of life, that I had lived fully in this area for over a decade. And when I started sorting through those little things, I felt something strange. Like every time I let one of them go, I did feel lighter. At first, it was super hard. And, I'd hold something in my hands and think, I'm not going to get rid of this. And then I also thought, thinking of the pounds that are weighed and how much extra it's going to cost to do things, I'm thinking, what can I actually part with? this is just me. But then as soon as I set it aside, I realized it wasn't me. It was just a reminder. And I didn't need the reminder to keep the memory alive. I mean, the memory is mine, whether the object stays or not. I'm still going to remember. Those things, did bring back the memories. And that's when it hit me. Letting go is not about losing. Letting go is actually about gaining. When you release things, you gain space. When you release people who no longer serve you, and I think you know what I mean by that. So many people in my life that I thought were the tightest of friends that just felt like, what the hell happened? Or maybe you don't even know. There wasn't even any closure. But what you do know is that those people no longer serve you. And that's when you gain peace. When you release expectations, you gain freedom. Think about those words. You've got to release expectations. Sometimes we think too highly of somebody or something, whether it be physical or whether it be, even employment that you thought was just everything to you. But when you release those expectations, that's when you gain the freedom. That's what I found myself experiencing as I moved out of this area. And it wasn't about losing a home or saying goodbye to a neighborhood. It was about stepping into the next version of me. When people say you're getting into a new chapter of your life, yeah, it's real. But it's also a new version of you. You've outlived this. You've outgrown this. It's still a part of your life, but you get to move on, and it can be exciting. It doesn't need to be scary. It doesn't need to be depressing. It doesn't need to be disappointment. It doesn't need to feel like a fail. It just needs to be something that reminds you, I am still living. There is a new version of me, and get out there and own that. Now, don't get me wrong. Fear, it was definitely a part of it. I mean, fear always shows up when you're walking towards something bigger and you feel like you're losing something and you're losing yourself. And there's pressure and the timing of all of this and how you have to get it all done in a certain amount of time. I was scared of losing the comfort of familiar streets. Scared of not bumping into the same people, as silly as it may sound, but at my local grocery store, the people that already know me when I walk in by name. Stuff like that. These are things that mean something. Scared of feeling disconnected. That's how I felt. That fear is just a signpost that says that you're growing. You're stepping into something that you don't fully understand yet. And I own that. I don't fully understand what it is I'm stepping into, but that's okay. One of the hardest things wasn't even the people. You're going to be shocked if you really know me, because I'm about to say it. And if you don't, I'm just going to tell you this right here. I am not a pet owner. I do not have any children. I do not have any plants. I am just me. Okay? That's how I move. But one of the hardest things wasn't even the people. It was actually the pets. The pets that I actually used to see all the time. And they used to love on me and know when I was upset. I'd grown so close to my friends' dogs that I'd show up to a house and get greeted with little tail wags. I think about that, and I think about letting go of those little small but deep bonds. It broke me in ways that I didn't expect. I started thinking of everything, What am I leaving behind? Because it's not just what I'm filling in these boxes and what I'm emptying out of the drawers in the closet. Because when you live somewhere that long, you don't just watch people and pets grow up. You watch everything around them grow too, and then you realize time was moving the whole time, whether you paid attention to it or not. Think about it. Think about your surroundings. Time moves. It doesn't wait for us. 10 years, over a decade in an area means you saw somebody's kid go from middle school to college. You saw someone go from their very first date, shout out to my friends, Will and Kelly, to their wedding day. You saw hospital visits, friends that you helped through recoveries, failures, comebacks, and even moments that stitched themselves into your story, whether you planned it or not. And then suddenly, think about it, it's like memories on a camera roll. That part hit me the hardest, scrolling through pictures of, get-togethers, birthdays, barbecues, random nights at someone's house, and, pictures that you forgot that you even took. Those memories take you way back into those moments and remembering the jokes and the silliness and what happened the next morning and who felt embarrassed and all of those things. And knowing I just am not going to be able to pull up like that anymore. Knowing I can't just drop by like I used to because they live down the hall. I can't just say, hey, let's meet on the roof. Those photos became proof that I had lived. I have lived. I am still living. I've loved, but I've also left something major in my life behind. I mean, I feel like I'm telling you all of this in a way of like it's making me feel right now. I'm getting a little choked up because here's what surprised me. The deeper I leaned into letting go, the freer I have felt. At first, I thought I need to hold on to this to remember who I was. But as I started getting rid of things, as I started, just emptying things out, I released what I thought I needed. I realized it was the opposite. Holding on was what was keeping me from becoming who I am now. Letting go is not weakness. If you're in the process of doing anything and letting go and those words are hitting you, it's not failure. It is not betrayal of the past. Letting go is strength. Remember it. It is courage. It is faith in what is to come. Starting this podcast, Unmuted with Nina Chantel, has been part of that journey. I mean, when I first began, I didn't even know what to do with it. I didn't even know if it was going to succeed. I didn't know if people were going to follow. Please do. Please, by the way, help a sister out and follow and subscribe on all of your streaming platforms. Also on Instagram at Unmuted with Nina Chantel. And that one someone, that special somebody in my life convinced me just to try. They're like, this is what you need to be doing. You've got so many stories. You've got so much you want to say. You've always been that person that kept it real on the airwaves. And you can do that now without people telling you when you need to stop talking. So at first I thought, well, maybe it's just going to be venting into a mic. But then I realized it's actually like therapy. Look at me sitting here telling you about what's going on in my life, and I'm letting you into my world, but it's actually helping me because every episode has been another piece of me learning to release something. I'm sharing so much with you. It's vulnerability. I mean, I'm learning to heal, to let go of what no longer serves me. And I encourage you to do the same thing with whatever it is going on in your life. I encourage you to let go of what no longer serves you. And now I'll let you in on something else. I've been quiet about this, but I'm just now feeling like, hey, keep it real. I've been writing a book. It's like a memoir, but really it's a reflection of everything that this process has been teaching me in life. Writing has forced me to look back at the moments that I thought were over and see them through a new lens. It's made me understand that every single memory, the good, the painful, the bad, the angry, it all has value. I've got so much to say to you. And that letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means respecting the past enough to not let it hold you hostage. Holding a grudge is letting you be the person that becomes the victim. And that I will never be. And that I encourage you to never be. Don't let anything hold you hostage. So you might be like, Nina, why are you sharing all this? Because some of you listening are holding on to things that you don't need anymore. I want you to stop and think about what the things are that you know damn well you need to get rid of. It could be an object. Maybe it's a friendship. Maybe it's an identity that used to fit you, but it just doesn't anymore. It's all right to let go. You might be scared to let it go because you think you'll lose yourself. I promise you, you won't. You'll actually find yourself. Feel me when I say that. Hear me when I say that. You will find yourself. I am. And it is powerful. It is empowering. And you cannot step into your destiny with your hands full of yesterday. You cannot walk into what's next if you're still clutching onto what's gone. Sometimes you have to open your hands, release it, trust what's coming, and trust that it is greater than what was. Yeah, it hurts. I'm not going to lie. It hurts. And yeah, it could be scary because what's next, right? Yeah, you're going to feel like you're standing naked without the armor of your old life, but you are not weaker. You're stronger. You've gone through so much in your life. I could tell you I've been through phases and moving from city to city and, station to station and shifting in my career. And I will tell you this, sometimes You need to open your hands, release it, and trust what's coming. And it's greater than what was. I'm telling you that. You're stronger, and the freedom that comes with letting go is worth more than the comfort of holding on. The freedom that comes with letting go is worth more. It's worth more than the comfort of holding on. And that's where I am today. I just wanted to share that with you. Learning to let go of an area, a life, a chapter, and stepping into something I don't fully know yet. But hey, it's about to be beautiful because it's a new chapter. And instead of fearing it, I'm learning to embrace it. I share that with you because silence never told the full story. This is Unmuted with Nina Chantel.